Beams
No,
trigger.
not
Beams trigger. Beams
burger.
Beams trigger. Beams trigger. I'm going to stop you. PFK says you're muted.
Oh. Oh no.
Not the mute.
Listen, it's okay. The scuff is how we know it's not a fever dream.
That's so
That
true.
was such a good intro, and now you're not gonna get it. Welcome in.
That's so
Fuck
sad.
Beams Trigger.
Wow, damn.
Anyways,
Beams Trigger did this.
welcome to the
Beams
Disaster
Trigger,
Tour.
Beams
I'm
Trigger,
PT, your
Beams-
Disaster Tour Guide. We're back with another wonderful tour with Bits, Crits, and Halfwits, playing some D&D in Sylvanaria. I don't know why I would only be in your left ear.
That sounds like a headphones issue.
Yeah, nope. Apparently that is a me issue.
Huh.
Oh?
Testing. Okay, I should be in both ears now. For some reason, my microphone was only sending one input to the audio input capture. Okay, here's the next
That's
question.
fun.
Okay, so they could hear you this entire time. You know what? This is an entertaining start to stream. Term, what's the question?
Today's question is, what does your character picture themselves looking like as they get older?
This is going to be a great question. First, we have Lulin Boldspeaker, the Minotaur Druidin from Oldfast, played by...
It's me, Brembo. And, hotter. If you think Lulin looks hot now, wait till he's a silver fox, because goddamn.
Then we have Elliot Burning Oak, the half-elf Blizzard from Zrea, played by...
It's me, Isaac. And Elliot sees himself as uglier as he gets older.
Oh no.
Oh.
He doesn't think he'll age gracefully like his uncle?
Nope.
Well, his uncle is a full elf, and he is a half elf, so...
It's true.
And
You
then
get half the graceful aging, eh?
at least you get to keep your hair.
True.
Then we have News and World Walker, the Yorkie Sorbarian from Oldfast, played by...
It's me, the Sky Tea. What was the specific semantics of the question again? Like,
what do you imagine yourself looking like as you get older?
It's
Character self-reflection.
yeah. I'm trying to think of what Newsen would imagine. I don't.
A slightly older dog. How far forward does she think about it?
If I stay a dog forever, I hope to be at least 2 inches taller. My old age. But I think Minotaur-wise, I think she would want to, she would think of herself, maintaining the, buff physique as long as physically possible. So she could be a kick-ass grandma.
Would she imagine how her horns are kind of gonna regrow and how that's gonna work with the metallic horns she has now?
Ooh.
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay. And then last but not least, we have Karakarim, the Furbolg Warlock from Elenia, played by...
Hello, it's Terminian Link VT, and not gonna lie, past week, Krog's having a real hard time imagining himself getting any older.
Oh no!
It's real dark, but I mean, he's not wrong. Thousand years so far, definitely gonna age a lot faster than he has for the last 1,000 years, but...
Get all that turned off while I get our music turned on here. Alright, well, last time on Bits, Crits, and Halfwits, our party, after meeting with the Regent of Zrea, went to a bar in order to meet with Elliot's father, who, as they discovered, they've met before. Alright.
No fun on Funky Friday.
Elliot, I think it was on you to say the next words.
Sure. Yep. Kill one god. So why was that what you were hoping I would say?
It means you're committed more to stability than you are to loyalties.
Loyalties. Well, you tried to kill me first, so that's really a matter of principle.
Good principle, then.
Not dead. My favorite principle.
Well, when your uncle told me that you wanted to meet, I was assuming you had something to talk about.
Yeah. Got like a medical history of any illness?
Yeah, we have a medical history on my side of the family of taking bigger and bigger risks until it kills us.
Cool.
I don't
Cool.
have it,
I
but
picked up on that one.
so it skipped a generation then.
Yep.
Is that all?
Well, I mean, I didn't know that you were the kind of person who would plant bombs before I met you, so uh I mean that'll surely come up later, but yeah, that seems mostly the relevant parts.
The only bombs we planted were with the full knowledge of your uncle. And very targeted. We knew what we were hitting and we knew how to kill it.
Did you?
We haven't seen any sign of it since then.
Then you haven't looked very hard.
You're saying we didn't kill it.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, isn't that interesting?
What made you think you'd gotten it?
That we hadn't seen it again. That's typically the way of these things.
Or you just made it aware that you were after it and it is hiding from you?
If it's hiding from us, it's not actively working against us. That's enough for now. There's plenty of
Oh, that is
instability otherwise to
Perhaps
deal
the
with.
most naive comment I've ever heard.
Listen, there's so many
Outside of your vision is the best place to act against you.
there's so many threats against the stability of everything right now. That if it's
Oh, is that
not
right?
actively trying to kill us, there's no point in actively trying to kill it.
Okay, well, other than controlled explosions, what have you done to increase stability?
Well, for one thing, we directed plenty of people to your little army before Ulfast.
My little army?
The army that you marched into Ulfast with?
Of people freed from the stone?
No. The people from Stipvale? The refugees from the war from everywhere else?
So you made refugees for stability.
We didn't make
I'm,
the
I'm
refugees.
confused on what you mean.
We sent the ones who wanted to fight to you, rather than letting them wander into the elven forces on their own and die for it.
Ah. Okay. Cool. I'm glad you directed some people towards a better cause.
There were less of us then, though. I think there were only 10 or 20 of us remaining. So we started to
And
keep an
now?
eye on things. Started to keep an eye on you all. We had a man on
Oh,
your...
us.
Interesting things seem to follow you. We actually
Okay.
started keeping an eye on you after you killed the regent. After all,
Don't know
when
who
it-
the regent is, but
your not father, the regent of the
yes.
city.
Well, I mean, the regent seemed generous. But sure. So you started keeping an eye on us
After you
after
killed
you
him.
started sending troops towards our armies?
Well, we were sending troops towards your armies because we decided a dedicated front, but we had no intention of following any of you in particular, just the armies themselves.
Okay.
It's when you killed your father that things got more interesting, and we decided to keep someone on you as well.
And what have you learned?
For one, we learned that gods are real. We found the Lady of White Roses after she met you at your camp, although we found her under less enthusiastic circumstances.
Oh, yeah? She kick your ass?
The first one of our men she came across while she was hunting.
So that's a yes, then.
Just the one scout, but any life lost is unfortunate.
I agree. Why was she hunting your scout?
I think he was just the biggest thing in the woods.
Interesting. What was your next interaction with her?
When she approached Ulfast as the Arcanophage began to appear.
And?
That's when she apologized for killing our scout.
Okay.
Since then, she's helped us to identify threats and given some of us blessings in order to combat them.
Threats like?
Threats like the instability of the Elven province that could lead to a continued war during a plague.
So what's your plan here, then?
Well,
Kill my brother?
God, no. That's the worst case scenario.
Poison?
No. We're capitalizing upon debts. The second sons are very familiar with the Thieves Guild in Zraya.
That I was aware.
We're making
They're scared to shit of you.
Yes, well, there's somebody who had to make sure they were stealing information and not cutting throats. We keep them in line, and in return, they're allowed to operate freely within Zraya as long as we get the information we need. It's how we're hoping to sway the vote.
In whose favor?
Your brothers.
Why pick him?
Because I don't see an ulterior option. It's easier to keep him on the throne and monitor someone we've been watching for the last year than to have someone new in the middle of everything else going on who more than likely is going to want to resume the war.
Also, we can influence him. I'm sure they like that too.
Yeah, that's fair, Newsom.
You watches his
Arthur?
eyes like flick to Newson and flick back to you when you respond.
Woof, woof, bark, bark, bark. Woof, 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 bark, bark,
Bark,
bark.
bark, bark. Okay. So you want stability. That's good. You're willing to act against those who would remove the will from others. And you gave people options who had none. You're gaining reputation.
I wouldn't be here if I was the enemy.
Well, no one thinks themselves the enemy. Not until the 11th hour when they see themselves in the mirror.
But I don't think of us as your enemy.
That's fair. I'm glad to hear it. I was concerned.
Well, in return for the information you've given me, knowing that whatever that was isn't dead, suppose I should give you a piece back, and as a show of good faith. When news spread that you'd left the city, House Gallendale called for a vote to move up the hearing.
Oh, really?
Based on the directions the messengers have been running, I would expect an announcement to be made about it within the next few hours.
I see. So, when we show up, there will likely be surprise.
More than likely.
Good to know. Do you know anything of the divine presence controlling the followers of the tree here?
We were aware that some of the magic regarding them was less than normal. We weren't under the impression it was divine, though.
It is, at least in part, divine and logical. A group of them seemed to be overpowered by their weapons. They attacked us. When we were finally able to disarm them and remove the magic, they didn't remember the incident at all.
Interesting. I'd love to say I could be more help, but you didn't inherit your magic from me.
Yeah, I kind of guessed that. But if you were acting against the likes of that green son of a bitch, I imagine this falls very closely to that camp.
What do you need?
I don't know. Honestly, I've just started investigating it myself, but probably keep an eye out on those people. I don't imagine any of the followers are anything but genuine, but a few of the leaders probably need an eye kept on them.
He reaches down to a pouch on his belt and he pulls out this relatively nondescript rock and then sets it on the table and pushes it over to you. There's only a few of us in the city, but if you need us, just say it.
Very well.
I'm assuming you know how a sending stone works.
Oh, I've used a fair few.
Okay, then.
Thank you. Unless you have anything else for me.
You think you're doing the right thing?
I always have.
Then we're behind you.
In the last year.
Then we're behind you.
Very well.
As he stands up and he sets 2 platinum on the table and walks out of the bar.
Yo. That's a lot.
Hush money
No,
for
Isn't
the
that
bar, I mean.
just just money for the bar, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So, was that the kind of reunion you wanted with your biological dad, or?
I accidentally broke everything. Guys? Oh god. I broke everything. Hang on, chat. Hang on. Hello? Hello?
Oh, hi.
I was temporarily purged to the Shadow Realm.
Oh, no.
I heard, was that the kind of reunion, and then I was banished to the Shadow Realm.
Yikes.
No.
Akko Taco.
So, if we could reiterate, perhaps.
It's rewind time.
I just asked. Yep. So is that the kind of reunion you were hoping for with your, biological dad?
I don't know. I mean, I asked my uncle before all that shit went down with Lyra, and I don't know what I was expecting. But I don't know, it wasn't that, I guess. It sounds like we have at least someone else on my brother's side for that vote.
Yeah. I mean, I
So-
stand by what I said. It's probably easier for them, if they've been keeping tabs on us, to keep him around since we have some influence over him.
It's true.
I mean, I don't think we'd be able to just demand another random matriarch come to our house to meet the Warforged and let him back into the city. So I guess
True.
they're backing the winning horse.
Mhm.
I'm glad that the Warforged are coming back into the city.
I agree.
Sort of a quick turnaround to get this meeting, but
Yeah.
it'll be good. We'll have to ask the ants if they've seen anything.
Yeah.
Anyways, anyone else have anything to say about that meeting?
If you think you're doing the right thing, we have your back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he was like that before? Or was it like a rebellion thing for your mom, do you think? Was it like a I gotta get with the bad boy kind of moment?
Jesus Christ.
Lilith's like pinching his nose,
Look,
shaking
I
his
can't
head
help
in
it.
shame.
It was the first thing that I thought of. I can't. I'm sorry.
Somebody fucking clip that.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know. What do you think, Elliot? Did she have a bad boy phase?
The
made
real
my
question
response.
is, was he a bad boy before, or is this like a I didn't get the girl kind of lashing out thing?
Or is it like a midlife crisis?
Yeah.
Since there's no sports cars in the world, we gotta we gotta
Start a
help the...
terrorist organization.
No.
Well, it was a good run. We got canceled.
Fuck. Somebody else talk.
I mean, I'm just happy that I got to actually be around for a conversation with someone who it seemed like no one else knew. That's a first.
You feel a heavy pat on your shoulders. All around goes, yeah, man, me too.
Oh, thank.
It's the first time I've been here for one of these moments. It feels pretty good.
You make me feel so vindicated, Elrond. Thank you. I have not had this kind of camaraderie in a long time.
I mean,
That may be the case, but all of you know everything, and I rarely know anything, and it's so nice to finally have someone who understands that feeling.
Wait a minute.
well, to be fair, Rock Guy,
Mm-hmm.
I make it a point of pride to never know anything.
Does that make it easier or more
So
difficult?
much so.
Huh.
And then when you need things, you just pull them back out of the bag. And as he pulls out a memory and crushes it.
Huh. Croc just thinks about that and it like in his mind, just marble bag pile version 2.
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, wisdom saving throw. This is gonna be interesting.
Ooh.
Karak, as you think about that, you are snapped back into a memory.
Oh.
As you see yourself over a small pile of the memory pearls, as you pick one up and crush it in your hand, and you feel the vision of a building and a path through the woods wash over you. As you stand up, look behind you where you see a bunch of soldiers, and then you turn around and begin heading off in that direction. Before you snap back. Roll me a perception check as you're like, because you don't have perfect vision of this memory.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, good perception check.
Mhm.
As you turn up and as your vision goes up and away from these kind of cloudy memory pearls, you briefly see a woman in a cloak with a stab wound in her chest, clutching what appears to be a symbol of Nissa. And then you're snapped back to reality. Enjoy your trauma.
Croc just like shakes his head a bit and is just like, "Ugh."
For everybody else, it's not even perceptible.
Mhm. Right. We were here to get a drink as well, right? We weren't just here for Are we going like
Yes, you can have a drink. I'll run, I'm sure, on a second.
I haven't had a single drink yet, you asshole.
Actually, Alron, should you be drinking? Don't you have to meet your girlfriend's parents?
Shit.
Sounds
For
like
dinner?
a perfect reason to have a couple of drinks. And Luna's just gonna like raise his hand and like call
You're
for the waitress.
married.
And
I think I
To a
remember
man
Sounds like a
who
good
makes
reason
all the
to drink.
alcohol.
all-
Your father-in-law makes all the alcohol. You have the excuse to drink. I think it's different with
Whoa.
elves.
There you go. There y'all go.
yo. Yeah, there we are.
Figure this one will be more helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Here, we can use the Lyra indicator as a pointer for where the
Show where the
people
party
are.
is.
Oh, that's so sad.
Mhm.
I think the Lyra indicator should be wherever Lyra's body is located right now.
well,
Which is also where the party is. It works out. Don't question it.
Yeah. I mainly asked about the drink stuff because we did have other things to discuss. Croc kind of like sends a mental message to Elliot about the magic, him recognizing the magic and it being familiar, and probably discussing more stuff on that with everybody because that's important.
The divine magic?
Yes.
Yes, we probably should talk about that.
Yeah. Just either way, let's all get a drink, sit down, and hopefully try and work this out. Ugh.
Luna's gonna buy the first round.
Mhm.
Nuzin jumps up and sits on the table because I'm pretty sure 7 inches isn't enough to even see over the table sitting on a chair.
Allrond grabs a mug from the bartender and a bowl and walks back and sits down next to News and sets the bowl in front of her and pours some ale in. There.
Can dogs drink?
I don't know, but I'm going to Google it and you're going to have to make a decision.
No, I should answer that. I know.
I'm gonna give the waitress just 10 gold. Just keep them coming.
Allron doesn't know that, so he's gonna do it regardless.
Karak looks at the bowl and looks back at Newton and Allron and is just like, well, technically the rules say that it's only illegal for drunk dogs to be on the street. So as long as you're not walking on the street, you should be fine.
Yeah, maybe that walking rule's real particular. I'll carry you.
Oh my god, that's genius.
Like dogs in backpacks on the New York subway.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, we got our drinks. What do we got to talk about?
So, while I was trying to manage the situation that was happening outside, I still have no idea what exactly was going on where you all were, but it seemed to something happened and a fair number of people started getting a bit rowdy. Oh, exorcism. Well, something must have happened with that because everyone around the store everybody just started going. I hate to say it, insane. They started grabbing at other people's castles and items and such, and it seemed just. I did, I made sure to calm everything down, but after I did, one of the leaders up on their pedestal, they wouldn't stop staring at me, and then they decided they were going to speak to me up here, and Croc kind of like just points to his head, and they didn't like that I was interfering, something about peace and serenity and all that, and after the conversation, I felt like I had experienced that. I've had experience with that magic before. I don't have a name to put to it. The only one I can think of that even matches would be the Veiled Serenity, but it didn't seem quite right. Similar vein, but I just felt it was important that maybe if I start looking deeper if I try and figure out where all these memories and emotions and feelings are coming from, I might be able to find out what or who exactly it is that we're dealing with. Maybe even and if I've interacted with them before, then maybe have some way to deal with that. I'm sorry if I'm not making sense. I'm still trying to organize everything. Emotions and feelings and such keep popping into place, and
Allron
get more confused.
Allron picks up the bowl, pours it back into his mug, and then downs the whole thing.
Yeah, I should probably do that too. As Karak, gets his drink and just takes a big healthy swig because this is not good. None of this is good for his brain, but at least this one's his choice.
Very fair.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your next course of action?
I mean, we have the meeting later today, and apparently it might be pushed up a bit according to.
It also might begin becoming hostile.
Mm-hmm. I really don't like that.
Speaking of, I think we need to have a game plan for that too.
Yeah.
For what?
If things get hostile during negotiations.
What would the game plan be?
Kick ass?
subdue.
The innocent people who've been brainwashed?
I mean, we don't have to kill ass. We just need to kick it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can put him to sleep again if you want. It's not like, I mean, not that I could kick that much ass right now, you know. She kind of holds up the
I
paws.
wasn't necessarily thinking we really had to do anything.
You could be a very dangerous ranged weapon, Newsom.
You know, that's fair. My teeth are pretty sharp. Just throw me and I'll bite someone.
Rock thinks about the like the interesting image of a cannonball Yorkie just going straight for someone's neck.
I was more so thinking, not necessarily using Newsom as a cannonball, but more so closing off streets, making it harder for them to get to the destination.
Buying time.
Or just capturing them in general.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to...
I'm lost. Who are we trying to capture? Nobles or the cult people?
Wasn't it said during the meeting that, like, the military motherfuckers were trying to make a stand?
Yeah.
Or is that also the cult people?
Oh, that was me asking you in character. Out of character, House Gallendale pushed the vote to move up the hearing.
Mm-hmm.
The cult people are the cult people. At the secret meeting you went to, you saw Lyra Gallendale talking to one of the High Fathers from the cult. When he left and you left after, you were attacked by the cult.
Noted. So...
Does all that sound about right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I think if the cult people are in fact brainwashed, I think by just using the narrow streets, we could just capture them. So that way we don't necessarily have to do any harm to them. Because I don't necessarily want to harm them either.
Okay.
They do tend to pile up. Huh?
But if they're brainwashed, they're just going to come towards us until we're no longer moving. So the best scenario is to just stop them.
Mm-hmm.
However, if the non-brainwashed Gallendales cause issues, that's more the thing I want to talk about. What are we doing about that, if that happens?
Are we still on the no one dies thing? Because I personally I like that. I really do. It makes me feel a lot better about what we're doing, but I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. It would also make me feel
good to wipe that smug smile off of that fake Lyra's mouth, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to kill her to do that, but...
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather not kill elves.
Mm-hmm. It definitely wouldn't look good if we were in the streets doing that.
Murdering the army? Yeah,
especially because
like
they think, yeah, that would definitely look like we were trying to start a war when we're not.
So maybe it's them trying to force that hand. I just have a bad feeling about it. I feel like we just need to be prepared about it.
I agree. I mean, with the meeting moved up, only a fraction of the Warforged will be in town.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any ideas to move that along quicker?
We could remove a wall. Sort of looking towards Allrond.
We to take down a wall?
I don't know.
I
I
could.
feel like,
You grew up here, right?
yeah,
What's the least defended gate in this city?
Southeast Gate, probably.
The sewer gate.
Isn't that where the Warforged are?
No, the Warforged were on the oh no, they were the southeast. Maybe it was southwest.
Southwest gate, probably. Okay. How many people would you say they have on shift there at any given time?
I mean, probably 5 or 10, but that was pre-pandemic.
How many guys do you think they have in the gatehouse at any given time?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Telling me you never like broke out and had fun when you were a kid?
4? Well, I didn't have to break. I just walk.
Okay, because I mean, so let's say 4, right? If I take out the 4 in the gatehouse real quick and real quiet, like I can just open the gate.
True.
We need some way for you to signal me that it's time to open the gate,
True.
but I could do it.
I mean, but the least defended parts of the cities are the ones without doors in the first place. Like maybe we just go for the west wall.
It's gonna be a
A lot
lot
harder
easier
to-
for me to open a gate than to take down a wall.
Yeah.
I'm capable
Well,
of a lot of
lucky
things.
for us, you're not our only friend.
You're
That's
gonna
true.
ask
True.
the
We do
guys
have
who
a
blew me
giant-
up to blow more stuff up?
No, but
No.
Brennan has been wanting to destroy things.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh,
And he is a giant magical robot. So,
He's been, he
wouldn't
he
it
can
be
go anywhere.
wouldn't it be helpful to you guys to have him at this meeting? Doesn't he have like history here?
True. True.
Yeah. Do we need to bring the Warforged in before the vote?
I mean,
I don't think we have to bring in all of them. But if your predictions are about half or less, that could pose an issue.
mhm.
what if we poked a hole in the wall ahead of time? Real casual like, and then just hit it with magic?
True.
Oh.
The old illusion of a wall is pretty effective.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It's not like lots of elves are like walking along with their hand on the wall, like feeling every brick.
That's true, but then how do we keep the Warforged out until we want them to come in? A bunch
they're
of Warforged
intelligent.
in one area is gonna throw up red flags, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what are they gonna do? Stand there and look at them? I mean, it's
Well,
not
I'm
like
just
they're
asking
stupid.
more like, where do I tell them to hide?
They can just stand. They can loiter around outside the wall.
Oh,
they're
and
not
just,
doing anything
and just be
aggressive.
ready to come in.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I can stay at the
And
wall to
then-
kind of ensure that happens.
Exactly. And then they just all pour in at once.
Okay, so what part of the
When?
wall do you want me to go try and take down?
Who could we fuck over in the process of putting a hole in the wall?
What? Wait a second.
Hmm?
What do you mean, who could we fuck over?
Like, if things go bad and the house is. Like, we're preparing for the worst case scenario, right? Which is where the houses move against us to do the coup, right?
Where's a hole in the wall going to make the most
Mhm.
most of such a plan? Rather not
Who-
waste.
Who do we want to
energy.
stop with an army of Warforged pouring in?
I see.
Mhm.
Where do those Gallandale fucks live?
Well, they're on the east side, but you don't want the hole right near them. That's. I mean,
Because they're
even
the
if
most
the hole-
they're the most capable
Warforged-
of dealing with the Warforged.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So
who were
what
the
area-
other guys that you know were against you?
Someone has those notes, and that's not me.
Hold on.
Thanks, guy.
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of just miscellaneous names in my notes right now.
I also have.
Boy, howdy.
I also have the note if you need the note, though.
I might. Those are god names. Nope. There it is. Okay, so our enemy houses, for sure, enemies are Ailerothi and Tavnar. Until recently, we thought Gallandel was a neutral house, but we know that they're against us.
Mm-hmm.
And we know Elfelkir and Miralith are definitely on our side. Everyone else was neutral, but obviously they're probably leaning towards if Gallandel has been influencing in the correct way. But I don't know what I don't remember what each of those houses does. I have it marked down.
Would you
that
like a reminder?
Ailerothi is one of the top 3 most powerful ones, so that one might be the one to aim for. But yeah, a reminder would probably be good for the class.
Ailerothi, I can just go over all the houses real quick as a reminder for the class. Ailerothi is currently ranked as the 2nd most powerful house.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Under Gallandel.
Yes, the source of their nobility is their naval prowess and exploration.
Okay.
House Tavenar is currently ranked number 6, and their nobility source comes from trade networks and mercantile ventures. They're rich. They loan everyone fucking money.
Got it.
Do you remember who the 2 on your side are? Do I have to go over those?
I know one of them is the book house. I think that was Miralith, wasn't it?
Yep. So Ilfelkir is famous for mining, smithing, and fabricating.
Right.
And they're number 4. Miralith is arcane arts and magical research.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones working on the cure for the arcanophage.
Mm-hmm.
They're number 9. Gallandel is obviously military, and they're number 1. And then the other ones are just Dwenarthin, which is number 5, and they're the architect guys. Alarian, who does the vineyards, they're ranked number 7. Phaler, who does forestry and agriculture, is ranked number 3, and is still currently neutral, as far as you know.
Yep.
Aurelian is the history people, and they're ranked number 10. And then Silverenth is the art and music people, and they're ranked number 8.
Well, speaking of,
Actually, you know what I can just do that'll make this way easier?
Hear it.
Is share Isaac's notes with everybody.
No, I'm just gonna share. There's nothing left in the houses that you don't already know. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just share the little
So
cheat
I can
sheet.
just share the cheat sheets.
Hey, PT, do you mind if I roll for like even or odd to decide a character thing right now?
Yeah, sure, that works.
Cool. Evens I do, odds I don't. Well, it's not happening.
Okay.
Damn. So maybe Ailerothi, the cutting off ships and things like that, might not be a bad thing. The docks.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, the docks
aren't the docks where like? Oh well, I guess if we're putting a hole in the wall, then the original plan with bringing the warforged through the sewers is out of the question.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they're already traveling through the sewers as we speak, but as it turns out, the warforged just could walk up underneath the bay, and they could basically be ready at a moment's notice to remove every ship Ailerothi has. So
And
Would be a good.
It would be a nice way to get back at that bastard.
what bastard?
Ailerothi's the one that we went to the party of, right?
No,
Yeah.
that was
No.
the guy that you sat next to was House Tavenar.
Oh, sorry,
Ah.
I'm thinking of House Tavenar.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
The Tavenars are renowned.
Oh, yeah, they're renowned, all right. They're renowned at trying my patience. God, that felt good. I need to do that more often.
What, threaten people?
Just say like that kind of like that the way certain people make me feel.
Oh yeah, just tell people they're assholes. Feels great.
God, I gotta do that more often.
Like,
I'm gonna put that in the
watch, you can do it just like this.
pile.
Newson, as a dog, you're kind of an asshole.
Thank you. I've been doing my best.
Have you been enjoying it?
Honestly, yeah. I mean,
Newson,
I didn't like the.
as you say that, you hear something in your head. Hello, customer. Are you satisfied with your experience?
I guess.
Excellent. Would you like to continue your subscription?
What? How much does it cost?
2 silver a week.
Honestly,
It can only be
Can I,
ended
like-
at the end of each week, however.
huh? Can you Can I resubscribe at any time?
I believe we can make that possible.
Okay. Well, it'd probably be beneficial for me to not be a dog for like a little bit, but I wouldn't mind like doing it again sometime.
We understand and thank you for enjoying your trial. As in front of all of you, as soon as you hear Newson go, yeah, I kind of enjoy it, just sudden transformation back into Newson, still sitting like a dog in the chair.
On the table.
On
No,
the table. The table. Hang on. I need to roll a dice.
Welcome back. I guess you were always here, but you know what I mean.
As Newson appears on the table, it starts to tilt, but the top of it doesn't break off, luckily. As it starts to tilt away from Lulin and Elliot and towards Karak.
Oh shit, hold on.
Alrod like braces his hands on the table and like tries to push it back.
Karak does the same, trying to like holding it up from the bottom, like
Cups of ale that aren't picked up like fall over and spill as it almost goes over. And then it settles, and Newson, you are back in your body, but in your hand is a small dog collar.
Well, I guess I don't have. Well, you know what? I should still find a dog-sized axe, she says, hopping off the table and sitting in a chair normally.
Elrond just slides over a mug of ale to you.
Thank you. She chugs it.
now we don't have to worry about breaking the law.
That's true.
Rule
Yeah.
Rule 1, as far as I can tell, of the Elven bureaucracy rules. It's the only rule I know.
And you are back to being a Minotaur Barbarian. Or Minotaur Sorbarian, my apologies.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
There wasn't any instruction on how this collar worked, right?
There was not.
Okay. I think she's gonna, like, take maybe a risk, we'll see, and, like, secure it on her wrist so that she doesn't lose it.
Nothing happens when you secure it on your wrist.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that was nice.
I guess you didn't enjoy it that much.
No, apparently because one, it's a subscription. Like, apparently that was the end of the free trial, and now if I want to be a dog again, it costs 2 silver a week.
What the hell's a subscription? Is that an elven
think
thing?
Oh, they just explained this to me. It's like where you pay gold for something to happen, like on a regular basis.
Yep.
So, like, if you want something to happen, every so often, you pay like coin to do so. And apparently, they automatically charge your bank, so that way you can accidentally miss a month, and that's kind of scummy.
They're
Elliot taught me
landlords?
that part. Croc thinks about it, it's like, I guess they are. Ew.
Okay, well, welcome back, Newson.
Thanks. She sets down the now empty mug of ale. Yeah, in my brain it said, if I wanted to be a dog again, I have to do something with this collar. I don't really know what, but it costs 2 silver a week, but you have to stay a dog for a week, so, you know.
Ah. Could I roll Arcana to see if I could maybe guesstimate what the activation of that is?
Sure. Roll me Arcana.
Oh my god!
Anything wild, baby. Anything wild.
All Newson has to do to activate the collar is put it around her neck like she's a dog.
All you have to do is put it around your neck, like you were wearing before.
This seems too small for my...
It's magic.
Well, alright, I guess. I mean, it barely fits my wrist, but I'll trust you on that one. I wonder if I can control what dog I am. Do you think I could request to not be a Yorkie?
Oh.
Maybe I could be like a Great Dane.
It might. I wonder if it's more expensive if you get different like dog breeds.
Oh, maybe.
And who decides which ones are more expensive than the other?
Yeah.
Who decides? Is it like based on popularity, or is it based on who is requesting what at what time? Do the prices change?
Depends on how fashionable the dog is.
Does Yorkie stay at the same? Does a Yorkie stay at 2 silver because it's one of the few constant ones? Everyone
Maybe.
knows how they feel about them already.
Who knows?
But questions for probably not the pile, but one day.
Well, that solves one issue at least.
Yeah.
Wait, that was an issue?
Well, I mean, hey, okay, look.
I mean,
I saw nothing wrong with it.
Alright, fine, I'll go back to being a dog and I'll be wholly unhelpful, alright?
say that you were very helpful
Fair enough.
during the Dream Grove. You
I
were
tried
going
to take a
around-
feather away from a man and I couldn't.
Wait, but during the Dream Grove, you were going around finding things and stuff. Like, don't downplay yourself, Newson. You don't let me downplay myself, don't downplay you.
Nah.
You were still an asshole.
Yeah, but now
I
you
mean-
can't scoop me up, so I
know.
can kick your ass.
My dreams
I
of a
mean-
projectile Newson are gone.
Well, get
No.
stronger.
I mean,
I
they're
could
really not
probably
gone.
throw
They just
you.
cost 2 silver now.
Hey, Elliot, you want to loan me 2 silver?
Dude, how do you not have 2 silver?
I,
They
s-
did
I-
just get here.
I spent a lot of money on the animal speaking potion.
Yeah.
Oh
Speaking
my
of, how is
God.
You
that
did
going for
buy
you?
a whole gallon of it.
How is that going for you? Is it worn off at all? Is it like has it lowered its intensity? You were
Well, I
That
thought
would be a lot.
Newson would be a dog a lot longer, so I paid for long lasting.
oh
Oh, yeah. So who knows? I mean, if all the potions' effects were compounded, I could be able to talk to animals forever.
Oh,
That'd
That-
certainly be something.
I mean that's nice.
Living forever
Usually-
would be my personal hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Living forever is. Listen, I've already been around a long time, and I'm still grappling with that fact.
But
I don't think
imagine having to live through it all.
you should.
I don't know how
you should
Brennan
only be
does it.
around-
At a certain point, you have to just stop caring.
Mhm. Like I'm lucky. I didn't remember. I didn't remember a lot of the time that I was in there. So
Yeah. What about the rest of you? You want to live forever?
No. That sounds terrifying.
yeah.
What about you, Newsom?
What about me?
Do you want to live forever?
Don't you have a meeting?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think I.
No.
No.
Like, if
there
you-
was a question about a meeting that happened there.
No. Answer the question. If you could,
Would I want?
would you want to live forever?
I don't know. I guess I never. Well, I guess I did have to like confront that at one point when that whole the whole dragon soul thing happened, and it was kind of depressing to think about. So probably not.
I just want to live. I just want to live long enough to make sure that I make a good impression. You know, I want to make sure I leave here and with people knowing that I did my best. You know.
Yeah.
I just want to leave here with all my arms and legs. I've heard what they do to dogs in the city.
Only small dogs.
Don't look tasty, I guess.
What about you? Do you want to live forever, Elliot?
I don't know. Depends on what still needs doing.
All right.
I think that's the problem at the end of the day, isn't it?
So do we have a meeting to go to? We should probably. Do you think we make our way to like? Should we just go to? Where's the meeting being held? Do we even know?
I think it was.
Well, it's your meeting.
My meeting.
Is,
Oh shit! Oh shit! As he like stands up in the booth, and he goes, "What fucking?" And he literally like sticks like pries a window that was not meant to swing open. Like sticks his head out and goes, "Oh shit! Oh shit!
Hold on, I got you.
I gotta
got
go.
you.
Good seeing you guys. I'll figure out where those people's house is, and I will do great work on the wall."
Good luck.
Yep.
As you hear him running down the street, just shit.
See-
I would like to cast Longstrider on him.
Okay.
Just reach out, touch his back.
It's just shit. As he-
The echo gets longer. You get the Doppler effect going on.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what
Oh.
happens. And that just leaves the four of you at this table. Newsen, you notice that all of your stuff is exactly where it was when you turned into a dog.
Seems ideal.
Mm-hmm. Darn, now I feel out of the loop again. Everybody's able to turn into a dog now.
Oh yeah.
Can you?
No, not everybody besides me.
Oh,
Like,
Lyra
I was saying-
Lyra can't turn into a dog either.
I mean,
Who's
she really
saying
can't
that?
turn into anything.
Nah, she's dead. Alright. So what are you guys doing?
I mean, we probably. How long is the meeting from now?
You don't know. You just know they're moving to push it up.
Okay. Well, we should probably enjoy ourselves, rest up a tiny bit here, enjoy the drinks.
You need a
If
short
anybody has
rest.
anything else. I mean, I won't say no to one.
Do you need one?
That's a good question. Let me check my character sheet real quick.
That's something I didn't think about when I was planning for tonight. So, who needs a short rest? Who's hurt or has lost spell slots?
I've used 2 of my 3-pack slots, and I've used like 2 of my innate spellcasting spells. So
okay, you can.
Everything else is, you know.
Yeah, you guys can stay here long enough to constitute a short rest.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
So you're here for probably another like 2.5, 3 hours before a messenger runs in and runs up to you all. Lord Burning Oak.
That's me.
If you could come with us, it's time. It's time.
Time for the meeting?
Time for the right.
The right? Wait, which right?
The Hang on. There it is.
Right of wives?
The right of the decisive cut.
The right of
decisive
wives.
cut. That's
what
one.
that's what your uncle's after.
That's the that.
The decisive
I
cut.
want that.
The decisive cut, my lord.
Oh, of course. I'm ready. As he sort of stands up from the booth.
All right, let's get going.
Fantastic. If you could all follow me. And as he heads out into...
Also, this guy's in the right armor, right? This is his brother's colors.
Yes. These are your brother's colors. Hang on. I need to upload a map really quick because I forgot to.
Oh.
Killing it over here.
Killing it.
I actually didn't think we'd get this far before after the break. So...
Mm-hmm.
We always take the break now.
We could just take a break now.
Yeah.
All right, we're just going to take a break now, a little bit earlier than normal, but we will see everybody in about 5-10 minutes. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
All right. As you head out into the street out of this bar, you see that the people of Zrea are out en masse. It's very clear that this event has kind of stirred people up. People are out in the streets. A lot of them are walking towards the Citadel. You see a fair number of people with World Tree symbols also walking towards the Citadel, but they don't appear to be holding anything at the moment. As, like, it's pretty much like, you know when parades happen and everyone, like, just converges on one place?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening in the city right now.
Did they think everybody in the city was going to know about it except us when they moved the date up?
Well, they thought we
Well-
were moved from the city.
Yes,
I guess.
they also...
I'm guessing they don't know we're here yet.
It seems unlikely. I only know you were here because your brother sent me.
Mm-hmm. So we're
Well,
gonna
I
be
guess
quite the
that's
surprise
for
at the
the best.
meeting.
As he, like, leads you out, he leads you over to a carriage and he opens the door for you as he, like, kind of does, like, the half step up onto it and hangs there. Best we not draw any attention in that case.
Mm-hmm.
That's, yeah. Can argue with that. And it feels good to step up onto things on my own again. Newson says actually being able to step into the fucking carriage.
This guy just kind of, like, narrows his eyes and then shakes his head as everyone else gets on. And then you begin going through the city. As you move through the city, through these throngs of people that are all converging, as you get out into that wide quarter-mile plaza around the Citadel, you see that erected almost evenly around the walls of the Citadel are effigies of world trees as these people gather. As quick as you see it, it's gone in the blink of an eye as you travel through the gates, and you feel a similar type of magic to what you had last time, but it almost feels like instead of having to wear anything, the carriage itself was shielded. As you pass through the gates into the Citadel.
Getting real religious out here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed.
As you head inside, the messenger jumps off of the stagecoach. And jumps off the stagecoach, opens the door for you, and then he leads you up several sets of stairs. As you step out into this large Colosseum-like room, and I'm just going to share the map for chat, actually.
Wee map.
As you're in the viewing gallery of a large marble, almost Colosseum-like room that you are on the top rung of. On the rung below you, you see that there is a large throne chair with a brazier on either side made out of some sort of black metal that sits empty. The brazier's unlit, while around it there are... Oh god, I gotta count these again real quick.
Several.
There are 17 chairs. Stone chairs that seem to be much older than the rest of this building. And 8 of them have unlit braziers in front of them. While the chairs, and I think you guys can see that on the map too.
Yeah.
While the rest of the chairs have a noble from one of the families sitting in them, and the brazier in front of them is lit. It seems like when they sent out the announcement that the vote was passed, they were already waiting here. As you kind of all move into the viewing gallery, which is kind of already where I have your tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you guys can, like, talk, or you can just wait for it to begin, too. That's also totally fine.
Do you have a chair? Newson says, looking at Elliot.
Do I have a chair? What do you mean, do I have a chair?
Well, you're like a noble house on your own now, right?
Yeah.
Well, not like one of the core houses. I don't have a chair, right? PG?
Roll me... okay, so this is gonna be a D20. We're just gonna call it... We're not gonna use any modifiers. We're just gonna call it a gut check to see if you think this is a good idea based off what you know. So just roll me a flat D20. A 12? I mean, you were the first noble house to be given your name by the regent in over 4 centuries, so yeah, that probably warrants a chair. But if you didn't get assigned one, you should probably just go take one.
How many families are in the city?
There are 10 families in the city.
Great. He'll go ask somebody.
So are you gonna go down to that level and, like, ask a guard or something?
Yeah.
What are the rest of you doing?
I mean, none of us have a chair. That's just a given.
Is anybody standing with the other representatives of the noble houses?
It seems like behind... So, not down on the floor where their chairs are, but it seems in the gallery behind each chair, there seems to be an assortment of people from the noble houses.
Well, when Elliot picks his chair, we sit behind it.
Oh, like backup.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to roll perception to see if you notice if anybody is missing?
Sure.
Alright, go ahead and give me a perception check.
18.
Lyra Gallendale and Tori... Hang on. Gotta check a name. And Tori and Ilfelker are not in the crowds behind their respective families.
Ooh.
Were they?
Causing problems.
Always.
Well, remember, Ilfelker's a friend.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it can't cause problems. It doesn't have to be problems for us.
Just problems somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they're just busy.
That's very fair.
I mean, having your entire forge be surrounded in a soul storm probably takes more than a couple days to fix.
Elliot, you make your way down, and you find several sets of guards. There seems to be a door behind each chair, and each door seems to have a set of guards from the family within it, in front of it. Who do you want to go ask?
There's guards from each family?
Yeah, so it seems like behind where each chair would be in the ring, there are doors. Some of them are unguarded, but the rest of them have guards from the family who respectively owns that chair guarding them.
Well, obviously he's gonna ask his brother's guard.
Your brother's guards you can't seem to access from the floor you're on. It seems like where the throne would be, there's a wall on either side of this circle.
Alright, fine. Then I'll ask the Elfelkiers. They're on this side.
Okay, so you head to... I'm just going to move you to where you go.
That's a good idea.
So you head over here, through this side of the building, into the hallways. And you find the Elfelkier guards as you get close, they kind of both like go more to attention.
No, I don't reckon you guys know if there's a seat for the Burning Oaks out there.
We haven't heard anything about it, my lord, but we can send a runner to find out.
Who would I ask?
The Herald, most likely.
The Herald. That's right. Okay. Where is he?
I believe he's just one floor down.
All right. I'll go ask.
All right.
Let's find some stairs.
So you just continue down the same spiral staircase that you took to get here.
Great.
As you come out into a room where there are several doors, but the Herald is standing at what seems to be the end of a kind of tunnel, like looking over a page of notes.
He'll approach.
Man, Elliot must be really deeply considering which chair to sit in. He's really taking it seriously.
I mean, he wants to make sure we have a good seat, right? That we can see everything.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is like memorizing notes. He doesn't even notice you approaching, Elliot.
Harold.
Yes, hello! Yes.
Dumb question. Is there a burning oak seat out there?
No question from a lord is dumb, my lord. And I believe... I mean, I do have you on my docket of houses to call out the representative of, so I would assume that you would indeed be out there somewhere. Perhaps just choose a seat?
Okay. I'll choose an unclaimed seat. Is there anything else I need to know about this vote? This is my first vote.
Everything, the procedures are all explained as a part of the rite.
Of course. Perfect.
I can show you them early if that is better agreeable to you, my lord.
Well, I mean, if you just have, like, them written down on a page somewhere.
I mean, I have the words I'm meant to speak for them.
Sure, I'll read that.
Okay, I can't share this whole document with you.
Oh, no.
Okay, here's basically how it goes. You ready? Write this down.
Sure.
2 houses will have the floor, one to speak in defense of the regent, affirming the continuity of his reign, and one to argue for the necessity of change, advocating for the right of the decisive cut. Both of these will be able to call one member of the assembled to question to assert their claims. The regent himself will then be afforded an opportunity to address the council, after which each house will retire to their respective domains to deliberate in safety and send their votes back to the citadel by trusted messenger.
Great. Okay. Thanks. Who's representing the region?
That would be Torian Ilfilkir, my lord.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Of course, my lord. As he kind of just watches you leave.
Were the other families at their seats already?
Yes, the other families were all in their seats. Everywhere that has a lit torch has a family in a seat.
Perfect. He's gonna take the seat on the far left without a lit torch.
On the far left. So directly across from the king? You can just move there.
Oh, it's so far away.
Elliot doesn't like to walk. Ew.
I mostly just don't want to get up off my couch. I'm very tired. So long as there aren't, like, guards or anything. Oh, I collide with at least one wall. Let me just, Oh, there's a wall there. Oh, there's
Slide
another wall
slowly
there.
around.
Oh, there's another wall there.
Okay. Oh.
Oh, there's a wall there. Oh, there's a
Okay,
wall there.
you just go down here. Okay, did y'all see what I just put in the BCH chat?
I am about to.
Also, I assume there's no other guards there or anything of other.
There were not. The door actually just unlocked.
Oh, perfect.
And you walked in. Do you want to know who is on your left and right, though?
Yes. Yes, please.
Okay. So if I do this the way I'm supposed to, because I had this all laid out, so give me 1 second. I gotta move some stuff around. I planned it just like the dinner tables.
Elliot choosing a seat will have consequences.
Yeah.
So, from starting right, can you guys see where my cursor is?
Yeah, the topmost one.
Yeah, so starting at the topmost right one, it's House Miraleth, then House Elarothi, then House Ilfelkir, House Dwin Arthen, House Alarian, House Aurelian, Elliot, House Silveranth, and then House Gallandel, House Tavernar. Oh, I guess I did include a lit torch for you.
Damn, so there was a place.
Enjoy
Taco moment.
Enjoy your seat.
Right next to Tavernar and Gallandel.
Correct.
Oof.
As you kind of find your seat, Elliot, you all see him down almost below you, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
How did I... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 11? No, how did I... Wait. Now I'm confused if I did leave a torch for him or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, I didn't. What the fuck?
How dare.
Okay.
Elliot
Top
getting
top
shoved between places.
top to bottom. Miraleth, Elarothi, Ilfelkir, Dwen Arthen, Alarian, Aurelian. How did I fuck this up again? Are there too many lanterns? No. I give up. Take whatever seat you fucking want. We're moving on.
Got it.
As your brother steps out across the room from you, from behind his throne, you see that he is wearing, like, the full ceremonial armor of your family.
Ooh.
As he sits down on the throne, and the lights in the room, besides the braziers in front of each family, which one lights up in front of you as well, Elliot, when you sit.
Yeah, I was about to say, if it didn't light up, he would light it up.
Yeah, it lights up immediately upon you sitting. Your throne is still destroyed, though. But
destroyed?
yeah,
They're all
the empty seats are like literally collapsing, like bricks falling apart, chunks hacked out of them.
They're from the beginning. They've seen everything.
So you might have to mold some earth and fix your seat.
Well, yeah, he would definitely be doing that low-key while things are happening.
Also, Lulin, do you want to join us over behind Elliot?
Yeah. Can't cover up news
He
and...
goes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As the herald steps out, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the Great Council of Zrea, we are gathered here today within these hallowed walls under the watchful gaze of history and the legacy of our forebears. As he's, like, very clearly reading off a list of things. You watch, like... Do any of you want to roll insight for his facial expression as he reads this?
Sure, why not? Insight's my best skill.
14? He seems confused about why some of these things are worded this way, but he's just getting through it.
Mm-hmm.
We shall begin with a historical overview to ground our proceedings in the wisdom of the past. It is now my honor to introduce a venerable pillar of our city, a beacon of knowledge and a keeper of our history, Sage Eleutherian Aurelian. As the head of House Aurelian, he has dedicated his life to the study and preservation of our rich heritage. His insights have guided us through times of turmoil and peace alike. Today, he will provide us with a reflection on our past to illuminate the path forward in these challenging times. Please lend your ears and your hearts to his wise words. As coming out from the tunnel where the jester appeared, you see a definitely older elf with long white hair and, surprisingly enough for elves, a beard. Just kind of like a long wizard beard. He's kind of crouched over as he makes his way to the center of this large coliseum. And you see him start to speak, and you hear, like, wisps of words. And then you see the herald, like, look over really quick, and you watch him cast a spell really quick as his voice booms out for all to hear. Honored members of this council, esteemed nobles of Zrea, our regent, today we gather in the Citadel under the weight of history and the responsibility it bestows upon us. As we approach the deliberations of what we now call the decisive cut, let us first cast our thoughts back 130 years to a time that bled the very soul of our city, the Knights of Knives. The Knights of Knives, remembered for its brutal power struggle, saw our noble houses turn against each other, each wielding the blade of ambition to carve power from the heart of our city. It was a period that left deep scars on our collective memory and led to the downfall of many of the noble lines whose chairs sit in this hall empty as a reminder. As he says this, he kind of raises his hands up to the rest of the hall, bringing attention to those empty and broken chairs with the unlit braziers in front of them, one of which, Elliot, you are now sitting in.
Nice.
As he starts in the upper center. The House of Cindervale, whose patriarch was found betrayed by his own kin, his throat slit as he prepared for truce talks. He goes to the one next to it. The House of Elathrian, doomed by their greed, saw the last of their line perish in flames, trapped within their own vault as it was set ablaze by their rivals. He moves to the next empty seat that Elliot's sitting in. House Morwen's final scion fell from the city walls, pushed to his death amidst a chaotic skirmish. Moves to the next one. The lineage of House Velora ended not with a bang but with a whisper, as a poison silenced their voices during a banquet. Their chair left eerily pristine, but for the unseen taint of betrayal. As he moves further down, House Silverfrawn's chair remains splintered, a visual reminder of the brutal execution of their leaders who were publicly torn apart at the start of the nights in this very hall. The last of House Thalorian met a grim fate, entombed alive within the foundations of what was to be their greatest architectural triumph, the very walls this city is so proud of today. Lastly, House Windriver, known for their naval prowess, vanished beneath the waves, their ships scuttled in the dead of night by saboteurs. Roll me insight, everyone.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Jesus.
Best skill, everybody. Best skill.
Alright, what do we got?
Yeah, right.
We got Karak with a 4, Nuzin with a 12, Lulin with a 20, Elliot with a 16. Okay, so Lulin, only you catch it. But this elf is definitely old enough to have been alive when the Knights of Knives happened. And you notice that as he talks about House Windriver, He glances over and looks directly at House Ailerothi as he says that their ship was scuttled by saboteurs.
Oh.
Ooh.
Drama.
So I think he was actually alive for this to happen. And I caught his eyes. Lou is going to, not like...
No, he was alive when this happened.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a catching their eyes, it was more of like a glare.
Got it.
I think Lulin is just explaining it in character to
Oh,
us.
I'm losing my mind. Too much speech.
How long ago was this again?
This was 138 years ago.
Man, I was still in the rock then.
I wasn't even conceptualized yet, so...
As he continues, even the chair of the exiled House Altharian stands apart, its surface not bloodied but worn by the weight of the disgrace and the dust of the neglect of their house.
Yikes.
From the ashes of that conflict under the regency of the Windsorwin family, a new order was forged. Our ancestors, wise from the harsh lessons of conflict, established the right of the decisive cut. This solemn tradition was conceived as a means to resolve leadership disputes, not through bloodshed, but through the will of this council, thus cutting through the chaos with the precision of a well-honed blade. As he says this, he slowly turns to each of the nobles, and he catches your eye, Elliot, as well. As it almost feels like he's giving you a silent warning. As he continues to give looks to the rest of the nobles, and then turns and gives one to your brother. Let us proceed with the gravity such a decision demands, mindful of the lessons history has taught us. May our deliberations tonight reflect the integrity and foresight that the decisive cut is designed to ensure. Tonight, as we invoke the right of the decisive cut to contemplate a vote of no confidence in our regent, we are reminded of the weight of this decision. This is not merely a ceremonial tradition, but a pivotal mechanism crafted to protect our future by acknowledging our past. Together, let us choose a path that honors the legacy of those who came before us and remember the consequences of disorder. And with that final word, he walks off the stage. As the regent as the herald steps back out. Ladies and gentlemen of the council, as the echoes of our history reverberate within these halls, we now move to the core of today's agenda. 2 houses will have the floor, one to speak in defense of the regent, affirming the continuity of his reign, and one to argue for the necessity of change, advocating for the right of the decisive cut. Both of these will be able to call on one member of those assembled in this hall today to question in order to assert their claims. The regent himself will then be afforded an opportunity to address the council, after which each house will retire to their respective domains to deliberate in safety and send their votes to the Citadel by trusted messenger. Let us proceed with the dignity and prudence that this grave matter demands. Without further ado, arguing in favor of the regent, Lord Torier Ilfelkir. As you all watch Torian still looking a little bit beat up from the other night, because it has not been that long since you fought Roran.
Nope.
Kind of limp his way to the middle of this floor. Honored members of the council, distinguished guests, my fellow citizens of Zraya. Today I stand before you not merely as a representative of House Ilfelkir, but as a devoted servant of our great city. We find ourselves at a crossroads, faced with decisions that will shape the future of our society. In these moments of deliberation, it is crucial that we remember to judge the actions that have been taken by our regent under the circumstances for which they were taken, rather than the times of our city's history. Firstly, let us reflect on the peace that has been hard won through the wisdom and fortitude of our regent. It was under his command that we saw the end of the devastating conflict with the Minotaur, a war that threatened an entire generation of elven children. His diplomatic prowess not only secured our current borders, but lands far beyond what we sought to claim, or claimed to, when the war first started, establishing a lasting peace that has allowed us to rebuild and grow stronger, and is the only reason we have not lost more in the year that followed its end. Furthermore, we must not overlook the crisis of the Arcanophage, which came within inches of claiming our great city, turning our own warforged guardians against us. Amidst this chaos, it was the regent's decisive action that quelled the storm. His strategies and interventions were instrumental in securing the city, and later in freeing the warforged from the plague's grip, thereby restoring safety to our streets and security to our homes. Well, while some may argue for change, advocating for a new hand at the helm, let us consider the risks of destabilizing the proven leadership that has guided us through storms and strife. Change, for the sake of change alone, can be as perilous as any external threat. At this juncture, I choose not to call upon witness, but I reserve the right. For the evidence of our regent's capabilities surrounds us. It is in the peace that fills our streets, in the prosperity of our markets, and in the security of our homes. In conclusion, as we cast our gaze towards the future of this city, let us not be swayed by the tumultuous winds of dissent. Instead, let us anchor ourselves to the proven leadership of a family that has consistently led our city in the darkness. Let us reaffirm our trust in a leader who has not only promised, but has delivered us stability. Thank you. As you watch as he walks over beneath the regent's throne and stands beneath one of the braziers as it lights up. The herald steps back out, presenting for the right of the decisive cut, Lady Lyra Gallandel. As you see her make her way out onto the stage, and the way she walks isn't like a person, like it's not proper. It almost looks like an animal hunting. Like it's almost like a stalk out into the center of this room.
I've seen that before.
Esteemed council members, valiant defenders of Zrea, and all gathered here who hold our city dear. We have heard praises sung for the deeds of our current regent, narrated as though they are the final chapters of our trials. However, the reality we live in paints a starkly different picture. One where our vigilance cannot afford the luxury of complacency. Let us first acknowledge the tenure of our regent is less than a year in office, stepping into the shadow of a father whose legacy was carved through decisive action during our darkest days. His father, a figure of immense stature, wrestled the noble houses into unity and brought an end to the Knights of Knives. It was his leadership that stabilized the foundations upon which we now stand. Yet the boots of the son have not yet matched the strides of the father. Leadership is not inherited. It is proven through action, wisdom, and the trust of those led. While it is true that the formal hostilities with the Minotaur nation have ceased, to claim that we achieved more than we sought to is to overlook the uneasy silences that now stretch across our borders. Peace is not merely the absence of war, but the presence of secure and enduring stability, which our regent has yet to give us. Moreover, the threat of the Arcanophage, a plague that nearly consumed our city and turned our guardians against us, looms large still. The regent's actions, while decisive, have not eradicated this threat, and our warforged, though freed, remain outside our walls. Every day, their presence reminds us of a danger that lingers, waiting for a single spark to reignite chaos. As for the prosperity that supposedly fills our streets, let us not be blinded by selective visibility. If peace truly reigned, the cult of the World Tree would not find fertile ground for their radical ideologies amongst our populace. Their increasing influence is a clear signal that all is not well. They speak of a deviation from our true path, a sentiment that would not resonate were it not for the underlying currents of discontent and disquiet. Change is not pursued for its own sake, but for a necessary response to the undeniable truth that what we face today is not a storm past, but a lull, a deceptive calm before we are tested once again. We cannot cling to past victories as guarantees of future safety. Finally, while the lineage of leadership may pass from father to son, the mantle of proven governance does not automatically transfer alongside. We find ourselves governed by a regent whose brief tenure has already been marked by continued threats and unresolved crises. These are not merely challenges, they are direct reflections of leadership, or lack thereof. The noble intent of past deeds does not negate the present necessity for effective action. We need more than the residual piece of past victories. We require a leader who can navigate the complex realities of today, not one who merely inherits a title. We must also ask ourselves, are we to place the future in the hands of one who watches passively as new threats emerge, who stands indecisively as our city clamors for proactive change? The evidence of our region's capabilities, or rather, the stark lack thereof, compels us to seek a new direction. It compels us to demand more than just heritage and history from our leader. It demands proven competence and the courage to lead, not just reign. Let us not be swayed by the inertia of legacy. Let us choose a leader not for their lineage, but for their ability to secure and advance our great city into a future that we all deserve. To show the character of our king and the character of the line he comes from, the upbringing he had, I call Lord Elliot Burning Oak as witness.
Elliot stands. Is that podium in the center a pretty obvious place that he should go?
It is, yeah. She's waiting for you to stand atop it with her.
He approaches.
As you step over the lip of the podium and step up, I need you to give me a DC 18 Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom? I'm a whiz.
You are a whiz.
A whiz kid.
Let's see it.
You are under the effects of
As a point of proof, I'm just gonna use a reroll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Send it.
The low rolls. Anyways, carry on.
You are not under the effects of a zone of truth.
Okay. For the record, Elliot intends to tell the truth unless I say that I'm not.
Lyra stands, her posture rigid with authority as she fixes her gaze upon you, Elliot. Her voice, clear and resonant, begins what feels less like a questioning and more like an interrogation. Master Burning Oak, you have been a pivotal figure in the recent events that have shaped our city. Your actions, while heroic, also raise questions that this council deserves answers to. Allow me to begin. Firstly, Lord Burning Oak, could you recount for us the nature of your involvement in the war with the Minotaur Nation? How directly were you involved in the strategic decisions that led to our so-called peace?
I was directly involved in the decisions that led to the peace of the elves and the Minotaurs. It was I who stood to defend the Minotaurs, as we stood to destroy a city for no reason whatsoever.
Moving to the recent crisis involving the Arcanophage, a peril that nearly destroyed our city from within, what was your role specifically in addressing this catastrophe? How did you contribute to the solutions that ostensibly saved us?
Saved us from what? Be descriptive?
The Arcanophage.
I have not saved us from the Arcanophage.
Elliot Burning Oak, in your tenure as an adventurer, and she does air quotes around adventurer, you've been marked by concerning actions and controversial decisions. Among these, none stands out more than your open association with those who would put our city at risk, including incorporating them into your closest circle.
You'll have to be clear of who that is and what risk they pose.
Furthermore, it cannot be ignored that during the war you fought alongside Minotaur forces against those of Zraya. This council, and indeed all citizens of the city, deserve clarity. How do you justify these alliances in your actions during the war? Why should we trust the brother of a man who betrays his own people?
The irony of her arguing that family lines don't justify,
and then using family
and
lines.
then using family to try and
I didn't say she wasn't a fucking hypocrite.
Well, this is Newson saying this to the group as she's like, I don't think she's sitting anymore though. She's like standing at the railing.
To be clear, I fought for justice. I stood against tyranny, and my father was not a decisive man. He is a man that drug this nation into a war that he knew we would not win, and risked many elven lives for nothing. It was my brother who helped assert the peace that we will all enjoy for centuries to come, if it's allowed to continue.
So happy, Lord Burning Oak, that you brought up your father. And she says that to a point where only you hear it, Elliot. Esteemed council members, as we peel back the layers of heroism, we find the fabric of truth. It is our duty to scrutinize not just the actions, but the motives behind them. To understand fully the characters of those who are thrust into positions of power. We must be vigilant, for the history of Zraya teaches us that not all is always as it seems. Let us ensure that our leaders are not just heroes of circumstance. She turns, and Elliot, she fixes you with a piercing look. Finally, Elliot, there is a matter that weighs heavily on the conscience of this council, though they may not yet know it. It is whispered that the last regent, beloved by many, did not perish in a battle against the Minotaur forces as widely believed. Instead, it is said that his demise came in a more sinister form and closer to home. Elliot, can you deny your involvement in the circumstances that led to the untimely and violent death of the former regent, your own kin, just days before you brokered peace with his successor?
I can confirm that it was the Minotaurs that defeated my father. I did not raise a hand to hurt him in any way. Not directly, at least. I, of course, led the Minotaurs that defeated him.
That is all the questions I have for the witness. She looks at you, Elliot. You can leave now.
There's no cross from... Alright. As Elliot heads back to his seat.
Each house is allowed to call one witness. And
Yeah, but they...
person doesn't get to question them.
You don't get a cross-examination when the
Mhm.
other side?
not at
That's
all.
what I was expecting.
This is
Yeah.
But that's...
shitty
that's
bureaucracy.
Kangaroo
not
court.
Elven court.
I can't believe it. Well, I can believe it. It's elven bureaucracy.
As
I can't believe it.
the
Fucking elven bureaucracy.
Fucking elven bureaucracy.
As the herald steps out again, you watch Torian step forward. House Ilfelkir claims its right to call witness. As the herald kind of like looks up and your brother nods, he goes, "Esteemed members of the council, I call before you a figure of profound significance to our city's past and present. A pivotal architect of our defenses and a guardian of our arcane heritage. I call before the council Vosh Brennan." As you hear clanking steps as Brennan steps out into this circle, and you almost all of you see the magic of the circle as it shimmers over Brennan's form. Lord Brennan, your contributions to Zrea are legendary, from the Knights of Knives to the recent war with the Minotaurs. Could you please recount for the council your role in these critical moments in our history? Of course I can. During the Night of Knives, I stood with House Windsorwin and helped quell the chaos that threatened the city. Later, as the Minotaur threat loomed large, I designed and oversaw the deployment of the Warforged, which were crucial in your war effort. And Lord Brennan, having taught combat magic at the Arcane College, you've had a unique vantage point to observe and influence the development of many young minds. In terms of opposition's thought on family heritage, how would you describe your interactions with Elliot Burning Oak during his time under your tutelage? Elliot's time under my tutelage at the Arcane College was, to put it mildly, completely non-distinguished. At least not in a traditional sense. He struggled with the rigors of combat magic, often finding himself outpaced by his peers and, to put it mildly, unimaginative in direct magical confrontations with evocation magic. However, it's important to note that what Lord Burning Oak lacked in raw combat prowess, he more than compensated for with ingenuity and resilience. Lord Burning Oak had a unique approach to magic. He didn't confine himself to a straightforward path. Instead, he explored alternative magic disciplines, integrating them into his strategy in ways that were both unexpected and effective against elven-trained fighters. This ability to think outside the conventional boundaries of combat magic allowed him to neutralize his weaknesses and turn potential defeats into victories. His adaptability is a testament to a kind of intelligence that is rare. Not merely academic or even tactical, but profoundly strategic. Seeing possibilities where others see only obstacles. If that runs in the family, I have some faith in his brother as well. Lord Brennan, given your depth of knowledge regarding Elliot's character and his unconventional journey from student to adventurer, there are whispers about his involvement in the tragic circumstances surrounding his father's death. From your perspective, how do these rumors align with the Lord Burning Oak that you know and his actions throughout the recent crisis? Yes, Elliot Burning Oak killed his father. But let's be abundantly clear. The Right of Knives was called. A sanctioned duel under your traditions. It was a legal fight, one that both entered willingly, fully understanding that one might not walk away. His father underestimated him and paid the price for it. That's not murder, that's the outcome of a lawful challenge. Elliot's decision wasn't some personal indulgence. It was strategic, reducing the war's toll on your people by ending it at the top. Anyways, it's not like he snuck into his father's room and poisoned him. Faced him in open combat as your laws allow. If you're shocked by that, perhaps you should reconsider the traditions you uphold. You ask if Elliot's actions reflect poorly on his character or his brothers. I say they show he doesn't shy from tough decisions. He stepped up, took on a burden that would break lesser men, and he ended a conflict swiftly and with fewer lives lost. That's not weakness or dishonor, that's the mark of leadership. Lord Brennan, as someone who has also navigated the challenging path of an adventurer, you understand the complexities and demands placed upon those who walk such roads. Could you share with this council what it reveals about a person's character to forge bonds and find companions in the midst of such journeys? Specifically, what does it say about someone who chooses to ally with individuals from diverse and unexpected backgrounds? From my own experience as an adventurer, forging bonds and finding companions on the road is not just a necessity, it's a strength. It's about filling gaps in one's own armor by preparing for the worst, by surrounding oneself with individuals who bring different strengths and perspectives. In Elliot's case, the people... As he says this, he's kind of looking up at all of you in the stands. The people he has chosen to ally with are among the best of the best. These individuals possess a force of will that has already shown itself more than capable of changing the world. Choosing such companions speaks to a person's character in profound ways. It shows humility and wisdom, recognizing that one cannot face every challenge alone. It demonstrates a commitment to excellence as these allies all hold each other to a standard that is truly beyond what we hold ourselves to. Elliot's alliances are a testament to his ability to see beyond prejudice and to value potential, to harness the strengths of those who have once been considered adversaries. In the end, this ability to unify diverse talents is what prepares one to face and overcome formidable challenges. If anything, we would want his brother to be more like him. And Lord Brennan, as someone who has witnessed the entire arc of our city's history, from its darkest nights to its brightest days, how should we weigh the actions and potential of those who aim to lead us now? I am the last person standing who was here when the first stones of this city were laid. So take my words with the weight demanded of my years. If history and heritage are no longer the metrics for leadership, and it is action we value instead, then the houses of this city would benefit by looking at the abandoned child who returned home. As you all look around the room, and it is clear that this is not an answer that anybody in this room wanted to hear. Like, Elliot's brother looks pissed, your allies look pissed, your enemies look really mad.
Oh.
Elliot looks
The
confused.
The tough truths.
As Brennan turns around and walks out of the room. As Torian just returns to standing under his brazier. As your brother, as the herald steps out and go, there will be a moment of recess before the regent's response. As Elliot, you see the other nobles like leaving their thrones for now, as people in the crowd begin talking amongst themselves.
Elliot going up the whole 2 flights of stairs.
Only 1 flight to where they are.
What?
Two flights to... Well, I'm assuming you went back to your chair after you went out on the floor, right?
Yeah. Wait, so the podium is 1 layer below the chairs?
Correct.
Man, this thing is confusing, but okay.
It's a coliseum.
One layer
It's tiered, like a stadium. I worked hard on this, you fucker. It's 3-dimensional for a reason.
I will say it looks really neat.
So, did you guys follow that last part?
Does Brennan want you to be the new king? I thought you gave that up.
Wait, am I the forgotten child?
Yeah, I think
I was like, that doesn't work for my brother. He was no one ever forgot about him.
No,
Didn't-
you're definitely the forgotten child.
Why
They're
don't
saying-
you think I
there's-
want to be king?
I
don't
don't
think-
think you have a
I-
choice now.
I mean,
What?
there's a chance that it won't come to that. I think it makes more sense that he was saying that in the hopes that they would understand that your brother, with you as a confidant, might be able to...
Be a better leader.
Exactly.
I guess.
And
Also,
maybe that's just me looking on, trying to find the solution in all this, but... Honestly,
Did they
I'm
take
still
credit
reeling
for
from...
the Warforged. Hold up.
I'm still-
Guys.
I'm still
Yeah,
reeling from
there
what
was a
Brennan
lot of
said.
weird credit that was getting thrown around there.
I'm still kind of reeling from what Brennan said. I didn't expect. I assume he's not including me. I haven't been here long enough to be part of that. I don't think anyway.
Well, why not?
I mean, you've been here the whole time, Brennan. They've. I'm not quite sure. It feels like I've been on the wrong foot since I've met them. So, feel like they know
fair
something.
enough.
I mean, they're not gonna like
As you say that,
downplay
Karak, you hear a voice behind you. I know lots of things you don't know.
Croc looks back. I'm assuming it's Brennan.
It is Brennan. None of you know how he moved quietly.
You know,
He
this
teleports.
This is the perfect time. I was going to put this in the pile for later when I next got the chance, but did you mean what you said?
Depends what I said.
You said that the people Elliot surrounds himself with are people that you think they're like good influences and that they have the power to change the outcomes of events. And
I said one of those things. I did not say
True.
that they were good influences.
That's what I was gonna say.
True. Maybe
I
I'm
told the truth. Whether for better or for worse, you are the best of the best.
not sure how I feel about that.
Shouldn't feel good about it.
Hmm.
Means everything's on your shoulders. And we all know how that feels.
Yeah.
Not a new thing for most of us, so.
Thank you for the honesty.
I've never lied to any of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think that they were thrilled that you didn't lie to them. Using kind of gestures to, the lower area down there. Caused a bit of a stir.
I don't lie. I don't lie for anyone anymore.
An ugly truth is more helpful than a beautiful lie at the end of the day.
Well, I don't think any of those truths were ugly.
Mm.
Maybe not ones that
From their
people
point
were
of view,
ready to hear.
From their point of view, it seems like they felt it made them feel ugly in a certain light. I don't know.
Lyra Galadel should feel ugly. She's full of shit.
It also had the benefit of doing one other thing.
Mm.
It showed the nobles and your brother where I stood if this got bloody.
That's fair.
Yeah?
You are, in fact, the most powerful being within, 10 miles of this building.
On that, we can agree.
You should get back down to your seat. Your brother's about to give his rebuttal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As he runs towards the stairs.
Are you gonna sit with us? Or stand, I guess.
I'll sit.
Just kind of looks at the little seats.
I don't think that would work well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lurk with us.
It's actually quite good. We had some forewarning about what Lady Gallandel's questions were going to be.
I'm sorry, anybody with half a brain can see that she is making the most hypocritical argument that's ever existed. Like, birthright doesn't entitle you to being a leader, but the actions of your family do weigh on our choice on whether you should be a leader. Like, get your what the fuck is that about?
We shouldn't use family to dictate things. And
Look, I'm
to
not
prove my
that
point,
smart,
let me
and
bring
I'm
out your
smarter than
family.
that. Ugh.
It's perfect fear-mongering. Makes just enough sense if you don't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's lucky she's shooting fish in a barrel then.
Why would you shoot fish in a barrel?
Because they're
it's
easier to
easy.
hit.
I mean, I guess, but then where's the fun in that?
As
The fun is winning. That's what she's after.
As you take a seat, Elliot, you see your brother step out in front of his throne. As he steps forward onto the end of his dais and he looks around the room. As he begins to speak. Honored members of the council. Distinguished nobles and cherished citizens of Zraya. We stand here today at a critical juncture in our city's history. The discussions we have engaged in are no longer merely exercises in rhetoric, but deliberations that will shape the future of this city. I have listened intently to the concerns raised, the doubts voiced, and the hopes expressed for a future that all of us wish to see flourish. But this is no longer a decision I make alone. Let me first acknowledge the profound duty that each of you holds. The right of the decisive cut is not a matter taken lightly, and the weight of this decision is one that will echo through the annals of our city's history. It is a testament to our commitment to justice and stability that we stand here, ready to question and be questioned. In my short tenure as regent, I have faced unprecedented challenges alongside you. We have navigated the aftermath of a brutal war. We have confronted a plague that threatened to unravel the very fabric of our society. And we worked tirelessly to restore peace and security to our streets. These are not the achievements of one man, but the collective effort of a city united in purpose. Lady Gallandel has raised some significant points, highlighting the ongoing threats we face and questioning my ability to lead. She spoke of the plague still haunting our streets, the Warforged who remain reminders of our recent trials, and the unrest symbolized by the cult of the World Tree. These are real concerns, and I do not dismiss them lightly. However, roll perception.
All of us?
All of you.
Perceptify.
Best skill.
Perceptify.
Oh,
No,
God
not like
damn.
that.
Okay, Karak only. When he says
Wait.
the word
There we go.
reroll,
let's go. Can't let.
Sorry.
It's like, no, I have to know.
I
It's not
mean,
allowed.
that's
Understandable.
fair.
okay, so when he says the word however, both of you notice that between the metal banister he has his hands on and the armor, there are sparks of electricity.
Relax, brother.
However, to suggest that my actions have been insufficient or that my leadership lacks the vision and strength of my late fathers is a misjudgment. My father, the late regent, earned his place through blood and steel, uniting the noble houses during the Knights of Knives. His legacy was a testament to his strength, but we must acknowledge that our times are different. Our challenges more nuanced. Leadership today demands not just the might of arms, but the wisdom to forge alliances, the courage to make peace, and the fortitude to do what is required. During the war with the Minotaurs, I was held as a prisoner of war, a period marked by personal trial and reflection. It was not through my choice that I was removed from the battlefield, but through circumstances beyond my control. Upon my return, I found a leadership void left by a leader who, like many of you, believed that it was only strength that forged empires. In a city in the turmoil under the rule of the very nobles who stand against me today. Lord Burning Oak, my brother, stepped into a role fraught with danger and complexity. His alliances, including those with our former adversaries, were formed not out of betrayal, but out of strategic necessity, to end the conflict and save countless lives. His actions, though some of you see them as controversial, have been the only reason our city did not fall to the Arcanophage. The vote you cast today will determine not just who sits upon the throne, but the future course of our city. I implore you to consider the consequences of your decisions. A change in leadership at this juncture could unravel the delicate progress we have made, could invite chaos and blood back into our streets, and could weaken us in the eyes of our enemies. Let me be clear. I am committed to this city, to its people, and to the responsibilities that have been entrusted to me. I will continue to fight for Zraya, to protect it from threats both seen and unseen, and to lead it towards a brighter future. The stability and the security of Zraya are paramount, and they must be preserved. In your hands lies the power to uphold or to disrupt the fragile stability that we have fought so hard to achieve. Choose wisely, for the path forward is fraught with peril, and the consequences of this vote will reverberate far beyond these walls. I implore you to remember the strength and resolve required to maintain this throne are considerable. Any decisions made today will be met with my utmost commitment to ensuring Zraya's continuity and its safety. As is part of the right, I will remain in this tower until the votes have all been cast. Please return to your homes and cast your votes. As he turns and walks off behind the throne, as for a moment, all of the braziers in the room go out, and the room is just darkness. And then slowly, kind of magical lights embedded in the walls begin to light up, illuminating your way out. What do you guys do?
Elliot runs up a flight of stairs.
I guess we leave.
I mean, you guys don't have to leave. You can go find his brother. Nobody's forcing you to go home, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can always do we have to? Do you guys want to go home to deliberate? I feel like I'm ready to cast a vote.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to deliberate about in terms of whose side we're on.
Yeah.
You know what I also think is really interesting? They get to argue against the current king, but we don't get to examine who Lyra Gallandel intends, like, who she wants in power. Like, why are we arguing? How can you make an informed decision if you don't know who you're agreeing to put in power?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is step one. Once the relevant paperwork has been filled out, and hypothetically, I don't know this is ever really happening. The king is removed from the throne. Then there's a
Yeah.
whole stage of determining which family takes,
I mean,
takes the throne.
And see, that's the thing, is
I'm-
that, like,
I feel like that should be a thought before you cast the vote.
I agree. Like
you should
you're
know- you should
basically
have-
just voting, I don't want this guy, but I don't know who I will have, It's like, probably somebody would be better, is basically what you're voting for.
You hear a voice behind you. Essentially, that's what it is, yes. As Torian walks up to the group of you.
This is bullshit.
Yes.
Elven
What a
bureaucracy.
She's got, yeah, well.
With the amount of time it could take them to choose a new leader. Could be years, honestly.
Ugh. What happens to the city with no leadership for years?
In that time, the regent continues to lead the city under house arrest.
Oh.
What?
It essentially
they're
removes
not
him from
allowed.
the playing board until a new regent is chosen.
So all the responsibilities, but none of the
Benefits.
none of the benefits that come with it.
God.
Oh.
Correct.
Ugh. It just makes her argument that much shittier.
Because it's not like he's gonna be gone. Like, if anything, it's like that just like what happens if during house arrest it turns out that like he's a really
shitty
good
leader.
That's
like if he's under house arrest and it turns out he's a really good leader, then everybody's gonna feel bad about them. You need a plan.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with you, and I would agree with you entirely if this truly had anything to do with his ability as a leader.
Yeah, exactly. I'm assuming this is the Gallandel's grab for the leadership position.
Is that the proper term for it? The Gallandel grab?
The Gallandel grab.
Bastard's been trying for decades.
It could be, but there's something strange about it. I don't want to say that the Gallandels are meatheads, but this is too smart for them.
I mean, they're more like tree heads.
Yeah, exactly. The argument, like, oh, the church is gaining power, like she's not giving it to them.
Like, oh, we're gonna.
Do we have any evidence of that? I would love to throw that in her face. God.
I mean, all we really have is the meeting we were at.
Yeah.
And, I mean, probably not the best idea to bring up that we were at that exact meeting.
Well, all the nobles knew we were there.
Well, yeah, but then it's out in the open, and because they haven't brought it up, they can be like, "Oh, so you were at a meeting where people were discussing this. Obviously, you have some. It's all about. It's just like your brother was saying. It's all about optics. It doesn't matter what our intentions were. It looks bad."
I mean, just by existing, we look bad. It's hard to look worse than being the quotations mortal enemy.
Well, I'm going to go see your brother. Would you like to come?
Yeah, that's probably a good plan.
We make sure to get sweets.
Better?
Oh, you're all welcome to come.
Yeah.
Oh, we should.
Who's got? Didn't we stop by the bakery?
I definitely did grab treats for him.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
He needs sugar.
Yeah, it's a stressful time.
Mm-hmm.
As he leads you through the building of the Citadel, you end up in a room that looks relatively like an office.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a large balcony that your brother's standing on. And as your brother's standing on the balcony staring down, you see that the underside of his face is flickering orange.
Hey, bro, got some sweets for you.
Oh, thank God. Have you seen what's going on in the streets right now?
In the streets?
No. There was on the way in. There was a lot of people
Oh, you
a
mean
lot
the
of
cold
effigies and-
bitches?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got an axe that's really good at chopping down trees.
I might need you to. I'm looking out at this and I don't know.
Is it burning you? As Elliot walks to the
Yeah.
balcony.
No, it's just the reflection. As you look down and you see that the throngs outside the citadel, the crowds are probably 3/4 of a mile deep, circled up around the citadel. And from how high up you are, you can vaguely hear them like all yelling and chanting things. As you see erected around the effigies around the center are the smaller pedestals. As it also seems like there's like burning bonfires to provide light that's flickering off the buildings, which even with as large as they are still several stories beneath you.
Wow.
Yes.
That's not great.
No, it's not, but I'm sure it's also not a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh no. I mean, those religious dudes are real connected to your enemies there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Oh,
well,
and by the way, when I picked up these sweets, the baker said she does deliver. So,
Just in
Even
case you're under house arrest for a few years.
it won't come to that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oh, I just
you
realized
wanna,
how
you want
I
to go
just
down and take a pood if you get deposed?
Well,
I help you take a pood.
let me
I love that town.
put it this way, Elliot. I know for an indisputable fact that I have the votes to maintain my regency.
well, that's good.
yeah.
Clarify.
It's the darker outcome. Because if I'm sure of it, so are our enemies.
Ah.
I
Sure
mean,
isn't
you have
really
the votes.
sure.
If the
Which means it comes to blood.
How do you know you have the votes? I will ask once again.
Because everybody says yes to your face. To be fair, it can't be a tie with Elliot voting. There's 11, right?
There are.
that is nice.
So someone's got to win. Are you saying that whoever wins, like, no matter what, whoever wins, there's going to be a bloodbath?
No. If I lose, I will step down. I will do my best to go through a peaceful transition to the next era. Although I doubt that I'll survive much longer than I've been off the throne.
Well,
You aren't capable of protecting yourself?
I promise you.
Oh, I am. But we will have some very motivated enemies.
For your safety.
I
Mhm.
mean,
And I will remind you, we have killed gods before.
also you're a fucking dragon.
Yes, well, I'm still young. Regardless, I think I've made deals that will foster the votes we need. House Silverenth was not fond of what elven art, music, and culture would look like under a Gallandel and Elarothi-led military regime.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
House Aurelian, they're scholars. If anything, they're going to abstain for the vote, but if not, they'll vote for things to remain the way they have always been.
Mm-hmm.
House Ylfelkir and House Miralith obviously stand with us.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, how go the repairs as Elliot sort of turns to
Corian.
what's his face? Yeah.
There. When you look at him, actually, he's holding like a little gadget in his hand and looking at it really kind of puzzled and confused.
What do you have there?
It's a device that's supposed to detect just latent magic. It's for finding secret rooms and doors. As he kind of like mutters that under his breath, but I don't know. It's going off and it shouldn't be. As he's kind of like he kind of like bangs it a couple times on his leg. And then
Elliot casts detect magic.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
Casting.
There is no magic immediately around you except for the detection magic in the thing, the magic items you are carrying, and a dagger on your brother's hip. But as you cast detect magic, you feel almost as if something fuzzy goes through you.
Oh no.
What are you facing? So are you standing on the balcony or facing into the room? Where are you standing? How are you facing right now?
He's facing into the room.
So it feels like...
Because he was standing, like, on the balcony, I guess.
Yeah, you feel this little fuzzy feeling hit you in the back and kind of pass through you. And it feels weird for, like, a split second. And then about 30 seconds later, it hits you again.
What the fuck is that?
What the fuck is what?
The fuzziness. I need to know.
The fuzziness?
Newson,
Where the
you
hell's
hear
it?
a tiny voice. We found it.
What?
Newson starts looking at the ground.
There's an ant like on your armor, just hanging out.
Oh,
We found it.
you found it?
Yes. We followed the vibrations.
Where's it at? Newson like puts a finger out for the ant to crawl onto her finger so she can hold it out in front of her.
It's where the noblemans live.
Which ones?
We couldn't get that close. Everyone who did fell over.
Fell over and didn't get back up?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
But it's under the manor houses somewhere.
Under what, north, south, east, or west?
Elliot, you would know also hearing this, Ant, that there's only one manor district where all the noble houses live.
Okay. All of the noble houses are all in one place? I didn't realize that. I thought they were all over.
It's a gated community.
Their businesses and their businesses are all over the city, and they spend most of their time in other parts of the city, but all of their manors, I mean, it's still like a large enough area that like you're never gonna see the neighbor. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I bet they have the bitchiest HOA though.
Oof.
Probably.
You know Ailerothi
So
is
true.
running that HOA.
Yo, hold up. Just a quick diversion.
fucking
I got an
Galadriel
email
to
from
run
my
the
HOA today.
Oh no.
Sorry. I need to vent this. 30 seconds. So quick D&D diversion.
I'm gonna
In
make
the email
food
from
while
my
he
HOA,
D&D diverges.
People are complaining about noises. They're like, hey, you should respect the after 10 before 7 a.m. noise restrictions. That's great. And they're like, you should be careful of things that make noise, like pets or children. What do you want me to do about children? They're
Yeah.
children. And then the email goes on. We encourage you to communicate with your neighbors in a peaceful way. And if that fails, call the cops. What?
That
The
is
cops
what?
are those damn kids. Make the cops shut that dog up. Oh my
Oh no,
god.
an infant is crying somewhere. Better call the cops.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm
Anyway,
I'm sorry,
I'm just-
child, that you're crying, but also your family pays the HOA fees, and therefore you need to shut up.
Dear God. That's so
Honestly.
ridiculous.
God.
And
Continue ranting.
I-
I'm almost ready.
okay. I feel very lucky that we are the house we moved into. There is an HOA in our neighborhood, but they have literally never bothered us about anything. All they do is plan community barbecues and invite people to
Based.
them. Yeah, it's
I love
super based. Like-
the best kind of HOA, the one that doesn't meddle and is just like, hey, y'all want to have a potluck?
Literally, the head of our HOA lives at the back, like at the end of our cul-de-sac,
Yeah.
and he was like, I fucking hate when HOAs bother me, so I'm never gonna bother you. Like, that they're like the kind of old rich people that own like a property in Florida, and he was literally like, they complain about my roof all the time and I hate it. So I was like, honestly, the most based HOA we could have ended up with. They're just like, hey guys, it's Halloween, we're having a Halloween party over at the gazebo, and we're like, cool, and they're like, bring something to share, and we're like, great. And we do.
Thank you for making the community feel more like a community instead of.
And the vice
like-
president brought us cookies when we moved in. She was
that's
very
it.
nice.
Oh, my
They do all their coordination on Facebook, which I like, I'm not in love with, but
It's
I
what
mean,
they
they're
got.
old. They're old.
yeah, they're
That's
old.
it's what they know. It's what they're
Yeah.
used to.
Yeah, it is what they're used to. But thankfully, I like our grass has gotten long and stuff like that. Like, cause we had to get a feel for how fast things grow moving back to Kentucky, because
Yeah.
the grass grows super slowly in California because
Don't
there's not
get
supposed
any
to be
water.
yeah, there's not supposed to be grass there in the first place. So, like, you mow your lawn once, like, every 2 weeks, maybe, during spring. Like, because you only get, like, 2 weeks of rain, usually. And then the rest of the year, it's like,
All right.
So, but here it's different. So, we've had to get used to the mowing schedule of, like, you gotta mow, like, once a week to keep your grass in check here. My God. All right, food made.
Food
Back
made.
to drama.
Yeah, what were we talking about? Oh yeah.
Waves and
fuzzy
ants and
feeling.
lanterns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ants found where the lantern is. It's in the manor district, but they couldn't determine what manor because they kept dying.
And Elliot feels a fuzzy pulse.
Oh yeah, Elliot felt a fuzzy pulse and was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "What is what?" Wait, I asked about the fuzzy pulse, and then an ant showed up. Were
Correct.
those related, or
Who knows? Find out.
oh god?
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Nobody's had
Next
time to
time
tell
on
anyone
Dragon Ball
else
Z.
about what they're feeling yet. I will tell you, the way that Isaac is faced, his back facing into the room, his back is directly to the manor district.
Oh boy.
As Elliot sort of faces the the balcony, whispers something into his cloak as he opens it up and Jeffries flies out. He's telling Jeffries to go get Shadow Gleam.
Okay.
Man's gonna need a ride.
Jeffries takes
Going
off into
right
the
out
city.
window.
As you watch, as Jeffries flies off, flapping his wings, Elliot, you feel the fuzz again, but this time it feels like something pulling towards the manor district. Like, rapidly. Like, it feels like all those pulses that went through you every 30 seconds for the last 5 minutes were all rapidly sucked back in through you.
Alright, I don't know what it is, but something's building and we have to deal with it, basically.
And then you see... It looks like just a small sphere of darkness appear in the manor district of Soraya. As all of the sudden, it explodes outwards,
Oh, good.
consuming buildings, wrapping over the streets, going over people who seem completely fine as it does so, before it washes over the palace. And as it's coming at you, you all have the brief moment where you realize it seems like light is being sucked into the front edge of this essentially spell as it's happening, and then it hits you, and suddenly everything is black and white. And that's where we're gonna end the session.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's where we're ending?
That's where we're ending. And also, you should look at the stream because we're also all black and
Amazing
white.
work.
We're all black and white.
All right. Did everybody have fun?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I loved listening to you talk to yourself for like a solid hour. And then ending the session by talking about HOAs.
I mean, what are HOAs but human bullshit bureaucracy?
Yeah.
HOAs is just the elven bureaucracy of the real world.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I will say, I'm very proud of all my character designs. Really, the only thing that's a little bit too same tone-wise is Elliot's cuff, like, rough, and his jacket. They're too
Mhm.
similar to be monochromatically different. But everyone else, all the markings stand out, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you to all of our wonderful players. Thank you for everybody who rated. Box, I didn't even realize you rated. I feel so bad. Oh no!
We were in
What
the
a
middle of some
friggin'
shit.
monster.
I was reading. I'm sorry.
Reading.
All right. Well, without further ado, thank you to all of our players. We have Lulin Boldspeaker, played by.
Hello, and me, Brando. Honestly, my favorite part of the session was just listening to PT talk. You did a very great job. Speeches were on point. Definitely felt like I was listening to some, geopolitical bullshit.
Bureaucratic bullshit.
Sounded really nice. Did a really good job in your speeches. 10 out of 10.
And then,
Support your artists.
and then we have Elliot Burning Oak, played by.
It's me, the black and white noir detective. And
Not
as we
again.
sign off this here session, with a heavy sigh, the door clicks shut, the silence of the room only broken by the distant wall of sirens. Tomorrow's another day, another chance to chase the shadows, to dance with danger. Until then, my favorite part of the session was when anything went black and white, and my brain went, it's noir time.
Yeah, baby.
You are officially Julius Pepperwood for real now.
2.0.
And then we have
Twice as old.
2.0.
Then we have News and World Walker, played by.
It's me, the Sky Tea. I mean, I also enjoyed being absolutely outraged about Lyra Gallendale. Man, that bitch sucks.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least, we have Karakareem, played by.
Hello, it's Terminian Linked BT, and my favorite part was getting absolutely infuriated by the fact that they are voting to remove someone from office without having a plan in place for who to replace said person in office.
Right? My god.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I'm going to send you off to Glitched Room playing some War Tales. We will be back tomorrow with some sort of the colony for the RimWorld thing. I don't know what to do because the mod broke yesterday, so technically Moore's ship exploded on impact.
Oh no.
But we have some options to either start a crash landed run with Moore and his friends. Because they're not supposed to die in stupid freak accidents. We're supposed to watch them die through traumatic story. I don't know, we'll figure that out. Then. That's a problem for not now. Anyways, I'm going to send everyone off to Glitch Room and have a wonderful rest of your night. I will see you tomorrow, and until then, don't do anything I wouldn't do. The bar is so low.
Don't forget the tour is arriving.
Oh, yeah. We should get a raid
Hold on.
message. I gotta draw a little bus for that.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Where are we dropping, boys?
You could also use that logo.
Mm-hmm.